Keir Starmer is facing discontent as Labour MPs are rejecting the Union Jack election flyers. We're going to read into this exclusive from The Guardian, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an exclusive from The Guardian with the headline that Keir Starmer is facing discontent as Labour MPs reject the Union Jack election flyers. The exclusive reveals that some members may say the flag may alienate ethnic minority voters, as some associated with the far right. Guys, while you're here, before I give my initial thoughts, if you can hit the like button and share it across social media so others are notified of this video. Sadly, I do understand. I do share that concern about about what some of the ethnic minority voters think about it being associated with the far right. I can understand that concern. I really don't know why we are exaggerating the flag so much. It is just a flag. It is a flag. Yes, it is our Union Jack. It's the flag of Great Britain. I get all that, but why do we have to? Why is this such a massive policy thing? Like, why is this such a massive deal? Why do we need to have it blasted all over the place? Like, I do feel like it has been politicised, the flag, a lot. I do feel like it has been politicised, and this situation here with regards to the flyer itself, I would say it depends on the flyer itself. So let's say if, I can understand if the flyer was just a massive Union Jack on the front and the back of it, and then it could make, maybe it does come across to, especially if it's coming from politicians, it can make people feel uncomfortable because reform and the Conservatives have blown this out, and people don't like that Labour are going down this path of all Union Jack and it does come across a very nationalism type of feel when I think about how much the flag is being overly used here. Because I mean, sure, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I don't remember the flag being overly used in previous general elections. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I could be wrong, but you correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. But I don't remember past general elections that I've gone and voted for, or when flyers come through my door. I don't remember the flyers being full of Union Jacks in my door. Hell, like even UKIP. I remember when UKIP leaflets coming in, like their leaflets didn't have blasted of the Union Jack. But is it really a big deal as well? See, that's the thing. Is it really a big deal? Well, I'm a white British person, so I can't really speak for ethnic minorities, so only they can kind of speak for themselves. But do Labour need to have their flyers blasted with the Union Jack all over? I think is the question we need to ask ourselves. I don't think they necessarily need to. I don't have a problem at all with the Union Jack being on the flag, being on the flyer, sorry. But I don't think it needs to be blasted and painted all over the flyer. But I would say it varies. It depends on what the flyer actually is, I think. And maybe we're just being a bit too overly cautious or overly worried, or maybe we're thinking too much more about this. But every single vote matters. There's a lot of people out there who don't want nothing to do with politics, who don't even want to vote because they're quite sick and tired of it. And you know what? Maybe the flag will put people off. What do you guys honestly think? Let's read a bit into this, a bit more, guys, and see what's the fuss, shall we say, a bit more is all about in more detail. So Keir Starmer is facing discontent from Labour MPs over the dominant use of the Union flag in election campaign material, amid concerns that it may alienate ethnic minority voters and others. So the concerns were raised at a recent meeting of the party's Black, Asian and Minority Ethnic, the BAME group at Westminster, and also by London mayors of the Parliamentary Labour Party. There is also unhappiness among some activists who are reluctant to handle the material. And there was criticism voiced to Starmer's Chief of Staff Sue Gray and Chief Whip Alan Campbell at a meeting of parliamentarians from ethnic minority backgrounds. One MP who spoke to The Guardian described the free post-campaign material as being plastered with Union Jacks. There is also increasing unhappiness about the lengthy delay to the investigations of Diane Abbott, who had the Labour whip removed almost a year ago, as well as discontent over the party's progress at the BMAE representation. He needs to make a he needs to just, like, the Diane Abbott thing, like, Like, I understand there's been the recent news, obviously, with regards to her and what things that what Lee Anderson said, not Lee Anderson, sorry, the Tory donor Frank Hester said about Diane Abbott, and of course, I'm sure you all agree with me that those comments were disgusting and abhorrent. Now, Diane Abbott had the whip removed for what Labour believed was in the right decision. I'm not going to say whether she should or shouldn't have it, but the longer they're not making the decision on it, it's not helping the situation on that either, I think, as well. So, unease about the party's use of the flag also came up at a meeting at London MPs that was attended by Morgan McSweeney, Labour's Director of Campaign, and Ellie Reeves, its Deputy National Campaign Coordinator. The Union flag has taken on an increasingly prominent role under Starmer as he seeks to emphasise Labour's patriotic credentials to assess that the party has changed from the Corbyn era. Yeah, it does feel like that. It does feel like they are pushing. It does feel like that pushing patriotic thing that Keir Starmer and his party are trying to push. And maybe there's something like, maybe you're pushing this a bit too much. However, some Labour MPs suggested the prominence of the red, white and blue has negative connotations among ethnic minority communities targeted by the far right. They asked why material provided could not be more tailored to specific constituencies. I don't see, like, do the leaflets have to be all the same entirely the same? Like, they are the Labour Party. Why do they need to be plastered with Union Jacks? Why can't they be red leaflets, which is what their colour is, and have like a Union Jack or something in the top right hand corner of the flyer? Why does it need to be, like, obviously we don't know what the flyer looks like, but does it need to be plastered with the whole Union Jack? Like, why? Like, there's nothing wrong with having the flag on the flyer. Like, I don't have an issue with it having a flag of two there. You don't need to plaster it. You don't need to have the whole background be of a Union Jack. For me, it does feel like you're going a bit too patriotic, I would say, Labour, with it. So one MP has said, we're all really proud of our country, but this can be a complex issue for some communities, and we have to navigate that more carefully. Yeah, some people will see it more. Some people will see it differently. Some people won't care. Some people really will care. Some people will think that Labour are not being patriotic enough. Some people are saying they're being too patriotic. It's trying to find that balance with it. But yes, I know we're talking about a goddamn flyer. I know we're talking about a flyer. But still, if he wants to unite the party and everyone to be on board, these people got to go out there and convince voters with these flyers to vote Labour. You still got to go out there and convince them. It's not just going to be tactical voting. You still got to go out there. And these flyers, plastered with Union Jacks, it's not going to be easy for some of them. And some of them are not going to be comfortable holding them. And this is a problem. For a lot of communities, we're talking about the colours that are associated with the National Front or the far right group. Using the flag might be great for trying to reach those hero voters, but why can't we have segmented branded? They're using the phrase Labour strategic con for the slice of the electorate who swing directly from Tory to Labour and who tend to be more socially conservative and pro-Brexit. I can see how this works in some places, but it's definitely detrimental in university towns and heavily in BMME seats, said another MP who attended one of the meetings, who added that the multiple colleagues had told him of activists refusing to give out the leaflets. They just look like Union Jacks, really, with a bit of red on the side. There's not even a Labour rose. You don't need to prove your patriotism by wrapping yourself in a Union Jack, they said. Oh. Would be nice to see a picture of it. A councillor on the South Coast told The Guardian that the flag branded material was also sometimes a problem, but not only among BME voters. I've seen boxes of the leaflets being piled up because activists don't want to give them out. We're also finding that in some cases on the doorsteps have mistaken them for leaflets put out by Conservatives, they said. A video sent out by Labour to its activists and organisers outlined its general election branding. The flag dominates and, of course, Labour red. States that the video, which also recommends the use of poppins front and says that the MPs and organisations should use the template to ensure brand consistency. Other later guidance to members and Bradley states that a primary palette of colours, including Labour red, flag blue, as well as white and black, should predominantly colour procuring content or positive messaging. A second paletate has been composed to match messaging relating to Labour's missions. They are growth pink, green, energy green, NHS blue, policy yellow, and opportunity purple. Lady Duke, the member of Labour's NEC, National Executive Committee, said Britain's strength in its diversity and our communities are hugely proud of our nation and its flag. Labour is running a proudly progressive and patriotic campaign that celebrates all our communities, that includes using our flag. Yes, but do you need to blast it all over? Do you need to blast it on your flyers? Spokesperson for Momentum, the Labour supporting group, said members are the lifeblood of our party, the activists who are putting the hard graft in on the doors. They must be listened to and their message is clear. Labour's campaign material should reflect the concerns of the communities they serve. A one-size-fits-all model is just not efficient, but has the potential to rebel parts of the Labour core-based voters. It does, if some people find it offensive. The concerns about the Union flag emerged as Starmer intervened in a row over England's new football kit for the Euros, calling it fit to be scrapped after the decision to replace the traditional red and white St George's cross for a multicoloured shirt on the cross on the shirt. A leaked strategy seen by The Guardian in 2021 advised Labour to make use of the Union flag veterans and dress smartly as part of a rebranding. It also highlights that the article was amended on the 30th of 2024 to clarify that criticism of voice was rather by Sue Gray and Alan Campbell at a meeting of parliamentarians there as well. So it has been amended, the article, at one point as well. But it's an interesting one, and it shows that yes, things, while Labour are united in wiping out the Conservatives, this does show that it's not all nice and rosy within the Labour Party, and I do think it is a concern that they're going to be having these Union Jack flyers on them if they are going to be plastered all over the leaflet as it's being read there. Obviously, I'd like to see what the flyer looks like. If I'm absolutely honest, if somebody can point me in the direction of one, please do. But like, there's nothing wrong with being passionate and patriotic about your country, but you don't need to scream and shout about it. And yeah, I don't see why they can't do them a bit more for certain, to target different flyers for different sort of communities. Like, I honestly don't know what's wrong with a red flyer with a Union Jack here or there on the flyer. I really don't see why you need to plaster it all front and centre, patriotic, all that stuff. I don't see you need to do that. You really don't need to do that, in my opinion. But maybe some of you disagree. What do you guys honestly think? Do you honestly think that Labour are being too nitpicky about this? Do you think, that it's an election, that it's just because it's a flyer, it's not the end of the world? Have any of you noticed during your times when you've had flyers come through your letterbox, do you notice massive Union flags, jacks on them? Does it bother you? Do you think it's too patriotic? Do you think it's too associated with the far right? What are you guys' honest thoughts about the Union Jack being used on election flyers? Let me know your thoughts and more in the comments section down below. If you found this video informative, please hit the like button, we greatly appreciate it. Share this across social media so others are notified of this video, and subscribe because it really does help support the channel. And if you want to go one step further and financially support me in the work I do here, you can do so by becoming a YouTube member for as little as 99p, or join me on Rumble or Patreon for exclusive content there as well. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope to catch you all very, very soon.